Welcome back to This Explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking a truly fascinating paradox in modern consumer electronics. Think about it for a second. In an era of wireless earbuds, spatial audio, and constant software updates, why does a nearly 30-year-old piece of wired technology remain an absolute industry standard? Today, we are decoding the Sony MDR-7506. We're going to use the data and feedback from our sources to figure out exactly why this specific pair of headphones has completely defied technological obsolescence.
To really understand the scale of this phenomenon, let's dive straight into the social proof. 27,923. That is the staggering number of global ratings this single product has amassed on Amazon alone. I mean, that is a massive figure for a piece of professional audio equipment that hasn't seen a major redesign since the 1990s.
And breaking down those nearly 28,000 ratings reveals an overwhelming consensus. A massive 83% of reviewers awarded these headphones a perfect 5 stars. When you add in the 4-star ratings, we're looking at a 94% satisfaction rate. If you know anything about the highly subjective, fiercely debated world of audiophiles and sound engineers, you know that finding this level of universal agreement is incredibly rare.
Section 1. Under the hood, the hardware specs. So, the foundation of their legendary sound really comes down to 3 key specs. With an impedance of 63 ohms, they can be easily driven by just a standard laptop, but they still have the resistance needed to handle professional studio amplifiers cleanly. Driven by 40mm neodymium magnets and a 10 Hz to 20 kHz frequency response, they deliver the absolute truth of the audio. There's no artificially boosted bass here, just a flat, uncolored response that's literally perfect for precise monitoring and mixing. Crucially, all this hardware is housed in a closed-ear design. This is exactly why professionals love them so much. They passively eliminate ambient noise and completely prevent sound leakage without needing any active electronics whatsoever. You know, when you're in a recording booth, you just get pure isolation, without those tiny digital distortions or phase issues that modern active noise cancellation always seems to introduce.
Section 2. The consensus. Voices of the users.
When we distilled thousands of customer reviews, a very distinct divide emerged. On the pro side, you've got universal praise for the crystal clear sound, that revealing flat response, and a tank-like build quality. But look at the con side. Users consistently call out the earpads falling apart, a notoriously tight fit, and a heavy, permanently attached cord. It's definitely a design from an era before modular, easily replaceable parts became the norm for electronics. Reviewer Robert Shaver actually hits the nail on the head here. He writes, the sound they reproduce is extremely detailed and extremely revealing. They let you hear everything. And that revealing nature, that is exactly why sound engineers, radio broadcasters, and film crews continue to rely on them decades later. Look, they aren't meant to mask flaws and magically make a bad recording sound good. They're meant to tell you exactly what is wrong with the recording so you can fix it.
Section 3. The trade-offs. Areas for improvement. Okay, to remain completely objective, we have to look closely at the drawbacks that come with a design that hasn't changed since the 90s. The absolute most consistent criticism we found centers around those synthetic leather earpads. As one customer bluntly put it, they're made of a very cheap and thin leather, and it ends up becoming frayed and falling apart after a year or so of everyday use. Because they were designed to be lightweight and relatively affordable, the external materials just don't have the same 30-year lifespan as those internal audio drivers. Beyond those flaking pleather earpads, there are a few other distinct design gripes. First up, that 9.8-foot coiled oxygen-free copper cord. It's heavy, it loves to tangle, and it is stubbornly non-detachable. Combine that with a clamping force that can frankly feel like a vice grip during long editing sessions, and yeah, it's clear that lidding with these headphones requires a bit of practical compromise over the long haul. You'll definitely be buying replacement pads eventually.
Section 4. Surprising updates. Modern sustainability.
Now, despite that undeniably retro design, our source material reveals a very surprising modern update behind the scenes. Sony has quietly modernized its supply chain, meaning the product now carries the Global Recycled Standard, or GRS certification. So what does this actually mean? Well, the product contains at least 50% verified recycled material while meeting strict social, environmental, and chemical requirements. It's honestly fascinating. These classic headphones now officially boast certifications for worker well-being on the manufacturing line and the use of safer chemicals. It's a 20th century design thoughtfully updated with 21st century manufacturing ethics.
Section 5. The verdict. The ultimate value.
Bringing all this together, we have to evaluate the overall value proposition in today's insanely crowded audio market. And when you look at the price tag, sitting comfortably right around $113, it becomes immediately clear why these remain an unbeatable entry point for studio-grade audio. I mean, you are getting the exact same, uncolored, highly detailed response relied upon by top-tier recording studios globally before a fraction of the cost of modern high-end consumer headphones. Which leaves us with a truly fascinating thought to take away. In an age of constant product upgrades, annual release cycles, and smart features being added to literally everything we own, is the ultimate audio flex simply sticking with what works? Think about it. When a piece of technology perfectly achieves its core purpose, in this case delivering the unvarnished truth of an audio recording, perhaps true innovation is knowing not to change it at all. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this deep dive changes the way you view the tech that stands the test of time. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.